Today we're talking about the hurricane season, not the upcoming season, but actually new research from NHC that shows last year's track forecasts were the most accurate on record. And we have Houston Chronicle meteorologist Justin Ballard to discuss more with us. So thank you so much for joining us, Justin.
Thank you for having me on this Wednesday afternoon.
And I'm excited to hear about this. It's nice to go back and see what advancements we've made. So first question for you, what about last year made the track forecast so accurate?
Well, every single, forecast interval had accuracy, record accuracy. The mean error, the average distance between kind of the forecast cone and where the storm actually does, take its path was actually the lowest on record at every single forecast interval. So that's 12 hours, 24 hours, all the way up to, I want to say 120 hours, 5 days, basically. So the fact that we were able to get record accuracy obviously meant for us, forecasting these storms, and it wasn't just Beryl, although we all remember Beryl, that was very, very important as we went throughout the course of the hurricane season.
Yeah, it's great, the advancements that they've definitely made. Now, the intensity forecast, they've always been, a little bit tricky, but last year proved especially challenging. Is there a reason for that?
Well, rapid intensification is one significant explanation for it. Rapid intensification, as we all know, is very hard to predict. Last year, we had 34 instances where rapid intensification occurred across the Atlantic basin. Obviously, Beryl was one. Then we saw quite a number of episodes with Helene and then Milton. And, all of this kind of goes into the uncertainty that is intensity forecasting. So yes, intensity forecasts last year were a little lower than what we've had in years past. The trend overall does still show that yes, those forecasts are improving, and you see there are 347 forecasts issued by the National Hurricane Center in the Atlantic Basin. Postseason analysis shows, like I mentioned, the mean track errors were the lowest on record. Forecasts on top of the accuracy for tracks were the most consistent and changed less from cycle to cycle. And you see there the intensity forecasts slightly less accurate, but if you're looking at long-range data or long-term data from the early 90s to 2020, the overall trend is for those intensity forecasts, while still not perfect, certainly, but it's still showing that the trend is improving. Those trends, those forecasts, especially for intensification, are getting better.
Yeah, I feel like we even saw those differences just even over the last few years, just how much better they've already been able to pick up. So what might these cuts as well? We've been hearing about cuts going on at NOAA or the NHC. What could that mean for us for the upcoming hurricane season?
I can't even begin to fully wrap my mind around what these cuts could possibly mean for us. I know a number of folks that fly into the reconnaissance aircraft have been let go. What kind of data are we going to be getting as we get into the hurricane season, which is in less than 3 months, the start of the Atlantic hurricane season somehow? I don't know how we're here, but here we are. So it certainly could feed into, how quickly are we able to get the information that we need for these forecasts? Will forecast quality suffer? All of these things are uncertain at this point. And that's what's kind of unnerving as we head into the busiest time of the year for us, the most kind of anxious time for us here in Southeast Texas, hurricane season. What exactly are these cuts going to look like? But I definitely think it has the potential for significant impacts, not just from the National Hurricane Center, but also locally from the National Weather Service offices that we, are working with and collaborating with. You see the 2025 hurricane name list there, Andrea, Barry to Chantal, all the way down to Van and Wendy. Now, obviously, it's too early to say how far down this list will get. It does look like at least a couple of long-range seasonal forecasts are hinting at maybe a little bit of a nearer average hurricane season. That said, it doesn't take but one hurricane. We saw that last year with Beryl for it to really be an impactful season for us.
That's very true, Justin. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us. It's always nice to kind of take a whole look at what we saw over the last year and, applaud ourselves on the changes that they've been able to make.
Here's to a 2025 that's maybe a little quiet.
I love that. I am totally down for that. Thank you so much, Justin.